This is Nightline.
Tonight, is Wendy Williams well? Under court-appointed guardianship, the new game-changing allegation from her team.
She does not have frontal lobe dementia. She does not. So that should be game, set, match.
Fans seeing her go from beloved talk show host.
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
To dazed and disoriented in this shocking Lifetime documentary.
Did you drink this whole thing today?
What her team says was really going on with her health behind the scenes.
Who should the public believe?
Plus, Two Strangers, Broadway's must-see new musical.
So where you headed, by the way?
New York, baby! About an unlikely pair thrown together on a hilarious 48-hour mission.
This is the place where you can come and watch the city on Saturday night.
In the city that never sleeps.
New York is very much a character, and it's how it affects us and how we sort of thrive in it.
Who discover they have more in common than they ever imagined.
It's about the heart of someone's experience.
And
This ain't Texas, ain't no hold'em.
what Texas Hold'em singer Beyoncé now has in common with the likes of Taylor Swift and Elon Musk, the superstar now part of a very exclusive club.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, a potential game changer in the health saga, former talk show host Wendy Williams. Off the radar for more than a year in a court-appointed guardianship program. Her legal team claiming that a recent report should secure her release. Here's another look. Wendy Williams, former talk show titan and pop culture queen, is still fighting for her freedom.
How is Wendy doing?
She's doing great. I mean, she's Wendy, you know. A lot of people's knees would have buckled at this point. Not her.
The former talk show host was once at the top of the heap.
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Her hot topics, the talk of the town.
Guess who's jealous of Adele? Beyoncé.
But her health took a steep fall. Diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia and aphasia and placed in a guardianship. The grim state of her hiatus from public life laid bare in the Lifetime documentary, Where is Wendy Williams?
Did you drink this whole thing today?
Living in a locked memory care facility, Wendy has been on a public campaign for almost a year to get out of her guardianship.
The terms of Wendy's guardianship seem to be extreme. I've spoke to her several months ago, and she just sounds like the same Wendy. Yes, is she quirky? Sure. Is she eccentric? Sure. She always has been.
And now a new revelation. Her team says a new medical evaluation ordered by Wendy's court-appointed legal team finding she does not have frontotemporal dementia.
She does not have frontal lobe dementia. So that should be game, set, match.
I think a new medical evaluation from Wendy's team is a game changer.
This new evaluation could mean everything for Wendy Williams, because if she is capable now of taking care of her own health and her own finances, there may not be a need for a guardianship.
Wendy began her public battle to break out of her guardianship first on The Breakfast Club.
I am not cognitively impaired, you know what I'm saying?
Speaking to Nightline.
I'm telling you, this is like being in prison.
You look so good, girl.
Even re-emerging into the spotlight at New York Fashion Week this fall.
How does it feel to be dressed up tonight, Wendy? Oh my God, Wendy.
It's very scary that someone like Wendy Williams could be in that position, because it is a situation that she just can't get out of right now. And she's been trying for years.
She recently hired high-powered attorney Joe Tacopina, who represented President Trump in A$AP Rocky.
You and I could go take a walk downstairs right now. We'll find 5 people in an hour who belong more in a guardianship program in a facility than Wendy Williams.
Tacopina says top-rated neurologist Dr. Samuel Gandy at New York's Mount Sinai performed Wendy's latest evaluation. Nightline reached out to the hospital and they declined to comment. ABC News was not able to obtain the report to independently verify its findings. Tacopina says that Wendy was struggling in the past, but it was not from frontotemporal dementia.
There's something called alcohol-induced dementia, okay? That may have been something Wendy was suffering from back in 23, 24. She was an alcoholic, no question about it. Wendy was drunk almost 24 hours a day. She looked like she needed help. She did need help. She needed alcohol rehabilitation.
What I hear you say is that there was a point in Wendy Williams' life where perhaps she needed guardianship because of her challenges with substance abuse.
Yeah, but that's not guardianship. That's counseling, right? I mean, everyone in AA gets a guardianship. I mean, the streets would be empty.
Alcohol abuse can cause various neurologic symptoms, including memory problems, behavior changes that can sort of mimic dementia. Alcohol-related brain damage can improve. Not all patients will have improvements, but some patients will have really dramatic and substantial improvement as they stop drinking.
Wendy's new evaluation stands in contrast to her long-standing prognosis of frontotemporal dementia.
Frontotemporal dementia is not your average dementia. Unfortunately, there's no cure for FTD. It is a progressive neurodegenerative condition, which means that it gets worse over time.
It all started in January when Wendy spoke out to friend Charlemagne the God on The Breakfast Club.
Look, for the last 3 years, I have been caught up in the system. This has been 3 years I'm caught up in the system.
It was the first time the public heard from Wendy in nearly a year. Fans immediately called for Wendy's release from the guardianship.
Free Wendy. Free Wendy. Free Wendy Williams.
And Wendy continued to dispute her FTD diagnosis, including on a call with me from her assisted living home.
Do you think you have dementia?
No. That's what I've been accused of, believe it or not. Frontal temporal dementia? How dare you? And I'm not saying you, because I've been accused of having that. And how do you prove it? By keeping me locked here. So that I can't see. Look, I can't go out. You have to have keys to open the door, to hit the elevator to go downstairs. Keys.
On our call, Wendy detailing life in the high-end assisted living home she's required to stay in due to her guardianship.
Can you describe where you are right now?
Yes. Well, as I've said, because it's a fact, this is the memory unit. That's what this floor is called, the memory unit. And it is true that these people who live here don't remember anything. Some of them are in their 60s, some of them are in their 80s, some are... look, I don't belong here at all. This is ridiculous.
Are you able, in this facility, to move about, to leave when you want to leave your room when you want to?
Well, I leave my room to order lunch. Everything is on this floor. And by the way, I have everything right here in the bedroom because, these people that live here, they're nice people, but it's not my cup of tea at all. And it's really expensive where I am. $18,000 a month out of my money.
In the wake of all the pushback, Wendy's court-appointed guardian ultimately agreed to have her health reevaluated. According to court documents, that evaluation was completed in August, but results of the evaluation are not public. However, People magazine exclusively reported that same month that Wendy's dementia diagnosis was upheld.
It was reported her original diagnosis of frontotemporal dementia and dysphagia were upheld. Do you agree with those results?
No, I don't agree with those results because I've not seen those results. We don't know who the doctor is. We've not seen the report. So I don't want to hear it.
There were a group of doctors who said, yes, she has a form of dementia, period, full stop. Now there's a new expert who said she doesn't. Who should the public believe?
The new expert, because he's the top.
There's not one test that gives us a black and white answer as to whether or not someone has FTD. So there is a certain amount of clinical judgment and clinical opinion that goes into making that diagnosis. And it's possible for different neurologists to have different opinions.
Wendy's legal team now getting ready to file her new medical assessment to a New York court and demand her guardianship be terminated for good.
What's the plan you have to get her out of the guardianship, and when can we expect some movement in court?
The plan is this. There are guardianship attorneys, and we're watching and waiting.
What's going on with this guardianship?
Wendy was originally placed in a guardianship in 2022. The court appointed Sabrina Morrissey as her guardian.
Through a number of evaluations and assessment both of her health and her finances, a court felt that a guardianship, someone appointed to take care of her finances and health, was necessary in her situation.
But with the latest medical evaluation, Tecopina says those conditions don't apply to Wendy anymore.
No guardianship should feel like a sentence. And honestly, Wendy's does. Wendy's feels like a sentence.
In whose interest is it to keep her in a guardianship if, in fact, it's not deemed necessary?
Yeah, that's a great, great question. A cynic would say, oh, the guardian gets paid a lot of money to be the guardian in this case. Wendy's money.
When I talked to her, she said it was $18,000 a month she was paying this
Approximately,
facility.
yeah, imagine. Just imagine of her money, not the state's money, her money, for a place where she is imprisoned for all intents and purposes.
In a previous statement, an attorney for Morrissey told ABC News, because the case is under seal, Morrissey could not defend herself from the multiple claims against her, adding that Ms. Morrissey emphatically denies any wrongdoing, mismanagement, or self-dealing with regard to Ms. Williams' guardianship, and that all the court-appointed guardians' activities are regulated and supervised by the court.
The guardianship has pushed back and said, look, she has had access to her family. She has left the facility to attend particular events, and she's not being mistreated, and that she's receiving proper medical care.
Really?
What say you?
Okay. What I say is she's had access to her family when the guardian gives her permission to have access to her family. And some days she gets permission to do it. Mm-hmm. Some days she doesn't get permission to do it. And Wendy Williams does not drink alcohol. That's a fact. So where's the danger?
Tecopina says he will fight until Wendy is able to have control of her life once again, perhaps another shot at the limelight.
I think she'd love to get back in the entertainment industry. I don't think television maybe.
I think Wendy can do anything. I do. I would not be surprised at a Wendy comeback.
For much more on this story and how Wendy ended up under guardianship, watch Impact by Nightline. What's happening with Wendy Williams? Now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu. Up next, meet the stars of one of Broadway's newest musicals, Two Strangers.
So where you headed, by the way?
New York, baby! Starring someone whose career I've followed ever since her first school play.
This is the place where you can come and watch the...
Welcome back. Two Strangers is the new Broadway musical already buzzing up social media with its charm and unlikely plot. I sat down recently with the show's two stars, one of whom happens to be my youngest daughter. Now, Chris, I know for you, born in Boston, lived in Montclair, New Jersey, at Atlanta.
You did your research.
It's part of the job. And Sam, that accent, is it Long Island? Is it?
Just south of, absolutely, Pittsburgh, I believe. Is that the right? No. No, I am born and bred, London, UK. Not London at all, but south of London.
So tell us, what's the show about?
Two Strangers is about two really complicated people who are experiencing different moments in their life that seem pretty catastrophic for the two of them. And they're kind of helping each other deal without knowing that they're helping each other deal. My character is from the city that the show takes place in. His character is visiting, and New York is the third character.
So Dougal is flying to America to join a wedding, his father's wedding, and Robin, Christiani's character, is the sister of the bride. And it's sort of a story about how 48 hours in New York, about how they sort of change each other for who they want to be rather than who they should be rather than who they want to be.
New York, I'm already talking the talk.
So where you headed, by the way?
New York, baby, I'm already popping the cork, 'cause I'm ready. Are you ready for me in New York?
Chris, Nightline has followed your Broadway career. We met you in A Bronx Tale. And you were the lead in King Kong. Those shows, the audiences could fall in love with you from the second the curtain goes up. Not so much in this show.
Yeah, this has been probably my biggest and greatest challenge with the show, is playing what some people would describe as like the anti-hero of the show.
And Sam, this is your first time on Broadway. You've had great success in England. On the West End, you won the prestigious Olivier Award for your lead role in Dear Evan Hansen. But as you say loudly in the show, this is New York, baby! So how's it different?
I think it's definitely down to the fact the show is written in the city that it's in. The audience are just so responsive, and they have so much love, and they listen so deeply.
Now, for the record, Christiani Pitts is my daughter.
She gets none of her talent from me. Forehead, all mine. Right?
Correct. Y'all see that.
Right? Mm-hmm. So, Chris, I know your journey. I know your dream. Sam, for you, 27 years old, to make it from Broadway, from across the pond, as you say. How does this experience fit in the dream for you?
I thought it sort of exceeds it. I always wanted to come to Broadway, but I never thought it would be in the capacity that I have done it now. I remember saying from a very young age, I really would love an Olivier. And then I did. I was like, damn, what do I do now? I don't know what's next. And I think this show has given me such a level of purpose that I never thought I would feel again. But to do this, to originate a role on Broadway with Christiani is just something that I never thought would happen.
You had this experience when Chris was a little girl, took her to a Broadway play early on, and we were waiting to get the star's autograph. And then by the time they got to us, the actor was done, walked away, got in the car, disappeared. And she says, Daddy, when I make it to Broadway, I'm never going to be that person. And every show I've ever been to, you've ever been in, you stay there and you sign every autograph, you take every picture. So what's the dream for you?
I think it's probably that moment of reconnecting with like my younger self who really, really, really wanted to be here.
You have one night in New York, Dougal, let's do this.
Our show brings so much laughter. And when you get out there and you see people's faces and they say their face hurts from smiling or their eyes are red because they've been crying, and I get to have that moment with them.
There's a narrative about be suspicious of strangers. And your show, without being political at all, reminds us of our humanity, even if we are strangers.
What Christiani does masterfully well with surgical precision is make it believable that Robin, who is already going through something quite difficult personally, is then met with this cannonball of unrealistic, almost irresponsible optimistic energy, and makes it believable that she would immediately engage in not immediately, but engage in a conversation with him, and that's how the show starts.
I think everybody wants to survive and thrive, and these two characters are just surviving. And they don't know that about each other because they're strangers. And then when they lock in, they realize like, oh, actually when you're vulnerable and when you engage with someone else that you maybe don't know, you have the opportunity to also thrive.
Their show was called Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York, on Broadway now, the Longacre Theater, starring Sam Tuddy and Christiani Pitts. I love you both.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. When
we come back, Beyoncé built a superstar's career on anthems like Irreplaceable, exclusive club she's now a part of. And finally tonight, Beyoncé is a billionaire. It's our nightlight. Forbes magazine adding the superstar singer to its list, crediting Queen Bee's crossover country success with huge hits like Texas Hold'em.
This ain't Texas, ain't no Hold'em.
Her Renaissance World Tour and its blockbuster theatrical release boosting her into a 10-digit fortune.
I have nothing to prove to anyone at this point. We are creating our own world.
Good for her. And that's Nightline for this evening. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Thanks for the company, America. Good night.